All right, you guys, so let's come back to our timeline. So, from January all the way up to like July or so, we're having all these primary and caucuses, and we've got this intra-party competition, okay? Tell me, who haven't I called on today? Tell me, Roberto, what kind of person do you think is likely to go and participate in the primary or participate in the caucus?
The ones that aren't related to politics?
Yeah, for sure. We tend to find that they're people who are more ideological. So the people who are more left-leaning and more right-leaning are probably the ones that are participating, paying a lot of attention, watching those early debates. But then we come up here, and we're kind of towards the end of the summer, and what's going to happen is we're going to reach general election time. So that's here like our second column. General election time becomes Republican versus Democrat versus anybody else at that point. So the independents, the third-party candidates, the Green Party candidates. And so the race is going to change a lot at that point. Because now, who do we care about? Who are we going to have to really court now? Yeah, Victor. We're chasing Victor. Who's like, I'm not really sure. I want to vote. This matters to me. But I'm not really strong one way or the other. So what we're going to find is sometimes the campaigns will change a little bit. Okay? Now, you can't forget your ideological people because you've got to make them come vote. Like if, let's say that Ted Cruz, let's say that, I don't know, who could we talk about? Let's say Jeb Bush, thank you. So let's say that Jeb Bush gets the Republican Party nomination. Well, like Ted Cruz doesn't like Jeb Bush. So Jeb Bush has got to be careful not to alienate Ted Cruz supporters because they're more likely to vote for him than the Democrat. But if he's not careful, then they won't vote for anybody. So it's not just about getting the middle. You also got to make sure that you keep those people who lost during the primary, that you keep their supporters on your side. Okay? All right, so general election season, it probably becomes like a little bit, sometimes it becomes more negative, because no longer are you fighting your team, but you're fighting the other team. So if you guys think about those of you that compete, like you compete in band for a position, or you compete in tennis for whatever, to be on whatever team or whatever, you behave differently against your own team than you do against the other team. There's more trash talking against the other team. Okay, but the trash talking against your own team is usually done in fun and friendship, whereas the other one, not so much, right? Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. All right, so we're going to fast forward then, and you come down here on your election day. You guys listen. So on that first Tuesday, did we talk about what day election was? So the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November, in even-numbered years, and you and I will all go cast a vote, okay? Well, if we choose to vote. Yeah, go for it. Okay. When I go and vote, how is my ballot going to look different in general election than it did in the primary election? There's going to be more than one party, absolutely. What did you say, LaCrystal? Yeah, there's just going to be one. So you're going to go through every office. So just like it was before, you're going to have president, vice president, and then you're going to have Senate if your state has a Senate race, and then you're going to have House of Representatives. You're going to have all that, and then you're going to go through your state elections and your local elections. But instead of having all these people, you're going to have a Republican, a Democrat, independent, third party, potentially. But you're only going to have one person for each party. So now you don't have to vote just for one party. And if you voted in the Republican primary and you want to vote for a Democrat over here, you can, or vice versa. It's totally up to you. You're going to go through and you're going to vote, okay? When I vote for the Senate and the House and governor and mayor and city council, okay? Yes, Chris?
I can't read the 13 on the list.
Those are just examples, sweetie. You don't have to write that. I was just giving you examples of things that you might vote for.
Also, first Tuesday after what?
After, y'all said that you knew that already. First Tuesday after the first Monday.
Wait, what?
Do we not, you said that you knew that already.
First day of the month might be a Tuesday. So I have to wait until the first Monday coming on and then that.
Yes. So think about November. The first Tuesday after the first Monday in November in even-numbered years is the day that we will have our election. Okay? All right, so we're going to go. And like I said, for every office that you vote for, I would really like for you to stop talking. Like, it's so distracting, okay? Thank you very much. I appreciate it. All right, so every office that you vote for, it's going to be a popular vote. That's it, okay? And the word popular simply means a number. It just means the people. So we're going to add up and say, this person got X amount of votes, this person got X amount of votes, they got the most, they win, they're the senator. But the president is going to get a little bit more tricky, okay? When we vote for president, we do not vote for president. We instead are voting for something called an elector. So if you remember last class, I told you over here during general election time, you're chasing electors. Fundamentally, if you want to be president, this is what you're trying to get. You're trying to get electoral votes. Remind me, Lizzie, how did our framers feel about democracy and people? For sure, they believed in rights and they believed we should have a voice. Yeah, I'll take that. What was their skepticism, Alexis?
Keep doing that.
Oh, yeah, I thought you were raising your hand.
Kinda like
That's why I keep calling on you, because you're going like that.
that like people were like greedy, so they wanted to like control. No,
Yeah?
that they wanted to like control how like democracy was held.
Yeah, greedy, definitely.
They
Annalise?
didn't want the majority, like, they don't want dumb people in charge, so they, like, wanted people who knew what they were actually doing in charge of what.
Perfect. Absolutely true. What do you want to say, Travis?
Like, were they a little bit worried about, like, factions? Could be.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So tyranny of the majority, factions, stupidity, all of these things they worried about, plus they were inherently worried about this executive because of its potential to turn into a king. So what they said is, we're going to choose the president indirectly. So when you and I go and cast a vote, we vote for an elector. An elector is a person. Just like a delegate is a person, an elector today is simply a person that the party has chosen. It's somebody that like is loyal to the party, loyal in the sense that they've like worked. You know, they've showed up at conventions and meetings and they've done the work, and so they kind of deserve an honor. Okay? And when you and I go and vote, we're checking a vote and we're saying, I'm going to vote for Bush, okay? But really what we're doing is we're sending a message to that elector that a month later, when you go before the state legislature and you vote, we want you to vote for Bush. That's really what it's saying. Okay, so back then, 1787, it was 5 months after elections before inauguration. So there was a thought that, well, what if something changed in 5 months? Information travels really slow. You know, we don't have the internet. We don't have telephones. So maybe those electors would go to Washington, D.C., and they'd find out something different, and they'd have better information. Or maybe we were just really stupid, and we made a really, really bad decision. That elector was that check on our stupidity. Today, it does not function like that. Today, electors are people that, like, just want to participate in history. So the vast majority of electors, when they go to do their ballot casting and participate in history, they're going to do what their voters said. Okay? Not all of them do. If they don't, they're called a faithless elector. But there have never been... Did somebody just growl about that? Oh, like faithless elector. Oh!
Yeah.
There have been, I think, less than 100 faithless electors in the history of our country. It's still a big deal, but faithless electors have never change the results of an election. Okay? So it's isolated people who have said, I can't in good conscience vote for that person. You know what I'm saying? But they've never actually changed the results. Okay? Alright, so I need to show you guys something. Nope. Not Amazon. Here we go. Alright, so if you guys look right here, okay, this is an electoral college map, all right? Every one of these states has a number on it. Those are the numbers of electors that you've been granted, and this was based on 2010. So the number of electors that every state gets is how many people you have in the House of Representatives, plus how many senators you have, and that equals how many electors your state is going to be granted. That's it. Okay? So, representatives, every state is guaranteed 2 senators, which means that every state and Washington, D.C. have 3 electors. But then you can take a state like ours, we have 36 people in the House of Representatives. We have 2 people in the Senate, so we have 38 electors. Right? There are total 538 electors